What's going on, everybody? Just another reminder, guys, that if you want to win a pair of customized Philadelphia Eagles sneakers, right? Some Air Force Ones with all the trimmings on it, guys. I mean, look at the artsmanship, look at the craftsmanship on these shoes. My guy Dave Dust, like I said, guys, he's a magician with that pen in his hand. Just a reminder, guys, that this will close on June 8th. I believe about 7 p.m. is when the last exact minute is that you can buy your raffle ticket to win a pair of these shoes. All right, guys. Just don't forget, June 8th, 7 p.m. What's up, Eagles Nation? What's going on, NFL world? How you doing, Division Rivals? This is Stephen Hyder with Gate City Sports Channel, the sports channel where the cerebral NFL fan comes for about 10 minutes of daily content. All right, y'all, today's topic, the fourth and final installment of our entire discussion here this week, guys, about every one of Jalen Hurts' throwaways. I told you guys, I consulted, I took a look at everything. He had 13 over that 4-game span time that he was a starting quarterback. 13 on the season, really, to be honest. So, I will say this game is complex to break down, guys, this Washington game, for a lot of reasons. To begin with, the throwaways really occur from getting ready to go into halftime, like 20 seconds in the second quarter left in the game, to about the 2-minute mark of the third quarter. So, I mean, we're really talking about not 15 minutes of real time, 15 minutes of football time, if you will, almost, is kind of where all three of these throws occur. And then on top of that, guys, there's some controversy over whether or not we should even count these as true throwaways, because I do think that two of these plays are debatable, that this is a traditional, real, like what you think of when you think of throwaway. One of them was kind of like a, either throw it away or throw it to only spot your guy can get it kind of throw, which I think is a little debatable to say is a throwaway. And then the other throw has to do with a running back and them not being on the same page. It looks like a throwaway if you're not really paying attention to what happened, but to me, it looks like Boston Scott, Jalen Hurts are on the wrong page, and it's not really a throwaway. It's just that the receiver is not in the place that the quarterback wanted the receiver to be. So, debatable, guys. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead. We're going to jump into these games. We're going to talk about what the film says about these throws.
Pressure and flips that one away.
First one, like I said, guys, 20 seconds to go, second quarter. Look, Washington comes out, they're playing in cover two. It's a man under principle, right? You can see both those corners. I'm not too sure what really happened on this play. There's a lot of weird, kind of subtle things going on here in this particular play. But I will say that from my eyes, this looks like this is very much thought of to be a screen to Miles Sanders. You can see Miles Sanders release out there. But I think the real telltale sign here of this really being probably a setup, a screen kind of is what the call supposed to be to Miles Sanders is watch your three receivers. So even the top of your screen, you got a receiver going up to look like to me he's positioning himself to block. And then your bottom two receivers on the bottom side of your screen, they're positioning themselves to really block. The only other receiver outside of Miles Sanders who's running a traditional route is Zach Ertz. And I don't know if that's a safety relief route just in case that screen gets taken away. Now, we continue this discussion about Jalen Hurts and whether or not he was feeling ghost, if you will, right? I do think that at times, yes, you could probably make the argument he was feeling ghost, but I mean, let's be honest, guys. Like, I've played quarterback before. If I was getting beat up the way this offensive line was letting pressure through on the season, I probably would be seeing a lot of ghosts too. I think some of this can be resolved just by more adequate play and a better sense of not feeling as a quarterback like you have to fight for your life every single down in and out because of how much pressure is getting through. There's a reason why we rank so highly in terms of giving up pressure, right? The pressure generated we gave up on the season as an offensive line. Those are bad numbers to have. I will say he probably breaks this too early, right? He probably breaks away from this too early. I thought that the screen was there to set up and throw. I'm not going to say there's not pressure there. Pressure does get through a little bit, but I felt like he could have easily sidestepped the pressure and made a throw here. If I'm going to be honest and true about what I'm seeing on the film, guys. And I'll also say that if you really go back through the film and you watch that Zach Ertz route, if you really pay attention to it, there's a small window of time where that route does come open. And it's tough, guys, because like even as guy judging this, like it's crazy just judging the windows of what's considered open in the NFL, guys. Like there's a lot of things that are considered open in the NFL than in any other context. Like they would not be deemed that way, but it's the NFL and it is what it is.
33. Hurts on the run. Look out. Chased from behind. Bye.
All right, guys, the second play I want to bring to you guys happens at the 11:16 mark, so kind of just coming out of the halftime in the third quarter, all right? It's a 3rd and 3, so here we go, another short yardage situation. Washington hits Philly with a page out of its own book. This is a Jim Schwartz special. I don't know how else to say this, guys, other than clearly a Jim Schwartz special here. They're going to play a little bit inverted cover 2. So when you run an inverted cover 2, and this is a really sneaky good call by Washington here, right? Ron Rivera and those guys doing a really good job here, Jack Del Rio. What you do is you take your corners and your corners flex out down the field like the safeties, and then your safeties shoot down and cover the flats. It's an inverted cover too. Jim Schwartz loves this, man, and this is a smart move to try to trip up a rookie quarterback. It's a very smart move by them. I mean, you could tell when his team is very well coached, and they just kind of like, oh, you like to run this? Well, you got a rookie quarterback. Let's see how he responds to it. Smart. It's a smart concept, guys. There's no doubt about it. I will say that Jalen Hurts does a pretty good job here eluding the initial pressure. But there's clearly kind of a misconception here with Boston. Some kind of miscommunication, not conception. Some kind of miscommunication here between Boston Scott and Jalen Hurts. I don't, Boston Scott kind of takes it back inside. It looks like Jalen Hurts wants him to go outside. Jalen Hurts throws the ball here. I'm assuming, just judging, because look, guys, I went through every throw. These are the only 2 throws I'm about to bring to you now. The only 2 throws that could have even remotely be considered as throwaways. And I have issue with calling this one a throwaway. I don't think the intent was to throw the ball away here. If I'm being honest about it, man, I think the intent here was to get Miles Sanders out towards the sideline, and Miles Sanders cut the wrong way. Or not Miles Sanders, I'm sorry, guys. Boston Scott cut the wrong way, where Jalen Hurts didn't want him. So, to me, throwaway number 2, sneaky kind of defensive principle here against the Eagles. So, I mean, interesting. A little interesting play here.
Rolling, looking, throws it out.
All right, guys. Third throwaway of the game. Another one I'm just kind of judging here. Comes towards the end of the third quarter. It's 2 minutes and 12-second mark. It's a 2nd and 4. All right. Once again, guys, I'm not too sure this is a true throwaway. I get the concept of like you're either throwing this ball to where only Fulgham can make a play on the ball, or you're throwing it away. I get it, but you're still giving Fulgham a shot here, in my opinion. It's just the communication and the timing was off on this throw. I'm looking at it as an opportunity to high point the football for Fulgham. Fulgham never really got in position to do that, though, so I think that's why it makes it look like, clear cut. If I was just tracking this and I didn't know everything about it, I probably would have counted it the same way and said it was a throwaway, but I definitely think it's a little different than that, guys. Washington comes out to playing cover 1 concept here. Cover 1 concept means you got a single high safety and everyone underneath is manned up on somebody. So easiest way to identify cover 1 is to watch and see who's manned up on who, and see if they follow him out. If they drop back into a zone, then it's cover 3. If they man up on a guy and they follow that guy, it's cover 1. A lot of ways that you'll see quarterbacks kind of manipulate cover 1 to find out if it's cover 1 or cover 3 is by motion. They'll motion a guy. Some things kind of happen here. They're going to boot Jalen Hurts, right? But outside of just booting Jalen Hurts, right, guys, some other things I noticed from the film that were like, okay, like, we got to clean up some of this execution stuff because we're just not executing plays the way we should. Watkins loses his feet. And it's like, come on, man. Like, we can't. You guys got to keep your feet. Just simple stuff, man. You got to execute stuff, especially when you're down in the red zone, guys. Blocking scheme needs to be better, guys. Decision making to some extent for Jalen Hurts, sensing pressure, things like that needs to be better. Understanding the coverages he's being thrown at him, but also guys got to be available to get the ball. If you're laying down on the ground, if you're tripping, you're falling. Greg Ward Jr. had one of those on one of these plays I broke down. I'm seeing Watkins do it now. Like, then you're not giving your quarterback an outlet to throw the ball to. So it is what it is, guys. All right, let me get into some final thoughts here.
Hurts rolling, looking.
All right, guys. So before I give you my final thoughts, there's a few people I want to say thank you for buying me a cup of coffee, guys. You guys bought me cups of coffee over the past few months, and I just wanted to take the time to thank you guys. So, Jonathan Holly, thank you so much, man. You've bought me multiple cups of coffee over the last few months, and I appreciate you, man. Michael Chisholm, man, thank you so much, guy, man. I really appreciate the great content. Yeah, comment you left me, man. I really, I'm really glad you guys get value out of the content that I provide, guys. Richard Ruth, thank you so much, man. He said you're very informative and we appreciate your hard work. Thank you, Richard Ruth, man. I appreciate you too, buddy. A lot of you guys just kind of left comments, but you didn't give me a name, so I don't know who sent me the coffee, but I still really appreciate it. I got people that chimed in on the draft, talking about how they saw the draft kind of going with Surtain and Chase and Pitts, and you know what? You guys kind of hit pretty close to where those guys went. So whoever left that comment on the coffee thing, good job, because you were pretty close to predicting that. Dom Lombardo, thank you so much, man. He talks about how I always do the weekly and daily kind of content thing and how I keep everybody kind of in touch. My guy Dom is from Wilmington, Delaware. I'm from the town of Newcastle, so Dom and I both representing Newcastle County, since Wilmington is in Newcastle County. I appreciate you, buddy. It's good to hear from a guy that's, from the same area. Hill Dante, man, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. It's Snipes. What's up, Snipes? So, left me some cup of coffee here, man, and talked about, hey, love the content. I appreciate you, buddy. Jason Williamson, yo, I appreciate you, man. He said, here's that cup of mud I owe you. The old naval term. Yeah, man, you know how it is, man. You never mess with a Chiefs mug. Never mess with that, man. You got to have that coffee mud, and you never mess with a Chiefs mug. You guys know that. And a few of you other guys just kind of left me a couple of cups of coffee. You didn't leave a comment, and you didn't give me your name, but it's still greatly appreciated, guys. Thank you so much. My final thoughts here are this. If you're asking me, Gate, what can you tell me about Jalen Hurts? Is he going to be successful or not? I don't know, guys. There's no way from this sample size that I have here that I can tell you that. I don't know. I can tell you where he needs to work currently to improve. I mean, 4 games is a big enough sample size to give you that kind of information, but to make an ultimate projection of someone succeeding or failing, there's no way of doing that, guys. I mean, look at Steve Young. It's the example I keep giving you guys, right? And I'm not saying Jalen Hurts is going to be anything near Steve Young, but Steve Young was absolutely horrific his first 4 games with Tampa. And then he turned around the following season, got an opportunity to start like 12 or so games. He was their entrenched starter for that season. Didn't finish that way, but, he got that season. It didn't work out. They ended up trading Steve Young. And then he ends up, hoisting a Lombardi later with San Francisco, and then also becoming a member, a member of the Hall of Fame. He's one of the players that's been inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So, I mean, look, the right scheme with the right playmakers around you with the right coaching makes all the difference. And that's kind of where I'm at with Jalen Hurts. To me, it's kind of like, I don't know, guys. I need to see the scheme. I need to see his growth and maturation as a player. Those things matter. Like, we know he's got the internal stuff, right? The desire to want to win, the desire to want to be good. He's a guy that people gravitate towards in the locker room. But I can't tell you definitively if I think this guy's good or not. I don't know. All I can say is that he's going to be your QB1 this year, guys. I mean, to me, he would have to be particularly bad for that not to be the reality. And as long as he's the QB1 of the Eagles, I'm going to throw my support behind him because I'm an Eagles fan. To me, it's the logo over any player. It's just the way it is. But yeah, guys, that's my final thoughts after now watching every single one of his fumbles and now watching every one of his throwaways. I will also break down all of his interceptions on the season too, guys, but I don't want to keep going all these negative videos, so I'm going to throw in maybe some touchdown passes or do something else first before I just go directly into another video where we're analyzing bad. Like, it's too much, guys. Like, I can't, because then it starts to form a singular viewpoint about a player that's based in reality, but you're too narrow in the focus. So I got to branch it out a little bit, guys, so that way I don't become biased to that. All right, guys, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Don't forget, if you want to support the channel, you can buy me a cup of coffee. Links in the description below. Don't forget to like and comment on the video. That's what spikes the algorithm and gets us in front of other people. And last but not least, guys, thank you all so much. I would love to add each and every one of you guys that watch these videos to the community, regardless of your fan base. But in order to do that, guys, I need you to hit that subscribe button. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all's time and effort, man. Y'all have a great weekend. I will see y'all on the next video.